Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of Aces Premiership Countdown. We have the pig in the building, and he's on fire. And the D's have been everywhere. Viney signs a new deal. Gawn signs a new deal. We ask him all about that and how it went down. The bump, how many weeks we thought the great man should have got. We also talk about our biggest pooch and grouse segments. A little sneak preview for you all, but the 30 years of the Footy Show on a Thursday night might be what we're talking about. And we have a huge announcement. Sportsbet feed, Ausmerican Aces is on there. All our tips, all our punting activity will be on there, so you can follow, join in, listen to our podcast for our tips, because it's the business and we are taking it a bit more serious right here on Ausmerican Aces. This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.
All right, Tommy, let's get stuck into the podcast, mate.
All right, here we go. Welcome back, everyone. Aces Premiership Countdown brought to you by KPI Construction and RIXX Eyewear. Pig, great to see you, mate. Geez, your UFC mail on the weekend was, what were you? You were like 8 from 9, but we won it all and we multied them all up and we get done by Adesanya. Can you believe that?
In the last fight, too. It was some big money to be had, and Izzy was coming too.
Mate,
anyone that watches the UFC, it was good. It was he was about to he was 2-1 down, I think, going into the fourth. He was going to win the fourth, comfortably winning before he got choked. And I was counting my money. I don't know about you.
Oh, was I counting my money? Everyone was telling me you're home, and I'm like, don't say that.
Don't do that.
Someone said it. You're home.
Early
you're home.
crow again.
Early crow, mate. Talk about huge. Early crow, and I'm like, no, don't say that. And then Izzy's like pointing at the ground, like stand here. Bloke's going bang bang choke. I was like, I've just done because I've just done my ass. I was counting me chooks.
Oh, no,
but I don't watch a lot of UFC, but I love the main fights. And Adesanya, I reckon he's technically very sound. Like with a guy that has no idea about UFC, watching him, he's just so good. And I'm like, he's really dominating this fight without having any idea about his opponent. As you can see, I've got no idea.
That other guy, like he's hard to put. He looks a bit uncoordinated. He blitzes and swings. Yeah, but he's very hard to stop. The other guy's like Hooker. He was $4.80 or something. I was just like, he's too good. Like he's a warrior. I was like, he's a chance to win. I didn't think he would but he was the odds were too big, and he got it done. That was sick.
What'd you get? You gave me like $4 and like $3.50, and then a couple earlier, and then all into Izzy. I was like, this is great. I actually love this bloke.
Yeah. So anyways.
Good. Pig, last week, the Q&A with everyone. We thank everyone for writing in. Some great questions. They peppered you. I didn't really have any, but but Malky was very funny, and your reactions were great. Have you spoken to him on the phone or anything?
We haven't spoken about that. It's kind of forgot, to be honest. But not only Malky ripping me, but even our listeners, I just have a head that someone, all my mates, we sit around, I feel like I'm always the one with getting little jabs, so I must have a head on me that just people want to give shit to.
Oh, speaking of your head.
We did enjoy it.
Hey, speaking of your head, I got you a present.
Bullshit.
Well, the old Hook Tour had to arrive, King. Have a go at these puppies. Mate, they are, I don't know where we bought these, but they cost me a bomb.
And they're not signed. She's been signing them and everything. Apparently, she's been signing all them.
No, these are just. I just saw that. Just talk about a hat. Just adding freight and US dollar, and about 2 months later. Speaking about waiting,
look how it sits on my head versus yours.
Oh mate, I've got an absolute pinhead. But speaking of freight and waiting, the Aces hoodies have finally arrived. Like they have arrived tomorrow. I've been hit up by DHL and I've been sitting at customs, and I can understand why things take so long this day and age, but so the hoodies have landed. So happy days, mate. What do you think of the hat?
I love it. We wearing it around. We'll probably take it off for the pod, won't we?
No, we'll leave it on. It's not that. This is a horse and cart and says...
better loosen it up.
It's like our fantasy teams, a Hock Tour. Did you see that name? Hock Tour for Hawkinson and Tour.
I like
that. All right, let's talk a little bit more about footy. I think we'll start off with last week. What do you think of last week? Because if I was to start, I just can't believe how well Carlton played.
You said, how are they going to win? I just think they win.
I couldn't believe it.
I could. You got to remember, it's West Coast who we didn't think were going to win many games, and Carlton who we were saying could be top 4. They've been down. They've got a few injuries, but they still have a system that has worked the majority of the year, and it's 1 in, 1 out kind of thing.
They're missing their whole forward half, and West Coast has won the last 2. I know it's not against the best, but it was Cripps' 250th. It's Gaff last game at home. I just thought they'd compete real hard. I didn't expect Carlton to blow them out. So it's really interesting, isn't it?
It's the Pies, the whole round. The
Pies Brisbane.
Pies won 1 point in it, and Melbourne getting up against Gold Coast.
I was late to dinner for that. I said I can't go. I can't leave I was watching it at home, and I'm like, I can't leave the screen. I just couldn't believe Collingwood come back. Schultzy, they're all getting around Schultzy. About time. He's a great man, Schultzy, and his last 5 minutes are unreal. But it was. Geez, those two have the best rivalry games at the moment. Probably Collingwood's got the better of them, but those games are box office. They are always close.
Well, the grand final last year was one to remember, and obviously on the weekend, the Pies can't make finals now.
Mathematically, they can, but it's like the hardest. It's almost impossible.
100 points.
Brado's he's a Pies man, so he knows what's the case.
He'd know the numbers.
Carlton has to lose, Freo has to lose, and there needs to be a 200-point swing. In the results.
I'll tell you what.
They're already booking the Osborne.
Well, I was going to say, there's going to be a lot of Melbourne clubs knocked out. Let's say Carlton do as well. That's touch and go. But you got Carlton, Melbourne, Collingwood. What else have we got? North.
Imagine Collingwood.
Everyone's going to be out in the piss this
Collingwood
weekend.
Would have been paying to miss the finals after winning the grand final last year?
I don't know. A lot.
Jesus,
everyone was talking about the team. But that's every team that plays in the granny and wins the granny, it's been happening a lot over the last 10 years.
Oh, not to miss the finals, is it?
Yeah, I think Dogs did it.
3 of the last 4.
We did it?
3 of the last 4?
Oh, no, we play fine. So there you go.
Oh, gee, we'll have to look at that one next year.
3 of the last 4, and Melbourne went out in straight sets.
Yeah,
straight sets means you're top 4, right? So still a good effort to finish top 4.
Potentially Carlton, Essendon, Melbourne, St Kilda, North and Richmond all on the piss this week. If you don't want to see an AFL footballer, don't go out to a pub this week because they're going to be absolutely ripping the joint.
And they won't want to see each other either. When you run into another squad and they're all hammered, all the main places that you go out this weekend are going to be chockers. I think it's the Osborne's 6th birthday as well. Speaking of Rodzilla earlier, so he reckons it's going to be pumping. So there'll be a few heads popping around there.
You're not going to the Osborne, the Emerson. Bambi.
Where else? CQ used to be the happening.
It used to be Bond and CQ, but I don't know, is Motel still going?
It will be this weekend. They might need to open it up to squeeze the boys in. What'd you think of the Houston hit when you first watched it? How many weeks did you think straight away?
4 straight off the bat. But then looking back now, I'm like, they gave Peter Wright 4, I think. Did they give him 4?
Yeah, I think they did.
I thought that was worse than Peter Wright's, obviously. He's front on. And it was like he meant it, whereas Peter Wright was kind of going for the mark or thought he could get there. So 5's just seems crazy that's 5
season done. If they make the granny.
I'm thinking that's nearly deliberate.
I thought it was 5.
So if they do make the granny, they have a loss. It's impossible for him. Whereas it was 4, he misses this week. Let's say they lose.
They have to lose. They
lose, then win, granny, he would be in. I reckon, I don't know, it's a bit of a conspiracy.
Right? But yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it would be 5. Are they going to go back and challenge it? No, they're not. So it's 5 and done. And he's on the move, they reckon, to Carlton.
Apparently the D's showed interest, but I don't know how they're squeezing him in if they've just... They're signing everyone at the moment.
All right, let's talk about the greatest bit of leverage. This is a great lesson for anyone that wants to learn about leverage. Your coach gets a bit scared because your dad is the GM of another football club, and I talk about Todd Viney, and he says publicly, I'm going to stay out. I think we spoke about last week. I'm going to stay out of all this stuff. Clarko comes out publicly and says the 3 names that he's targeting next year.
Did he?
He come out and said we want 3 leaders and hard nuts at our footy club, and Viney was one of them.
Did he say the name?
He said the names. I can't remember the other 2, but I'm positive he said the other names, and all of a sudden, Viney's price goes through the roof, and within about a week, the D's have locked him up for 4 more. That is one of the greatest parts of leverage I've ever seen.
What do you reckon? Toddy just dropped him a bottle of Grange and said, mate, just mention that in the presser and pump up my son's...
we're selling Jack short, by the way. He's a superstar at the Demons Footy Club. But 4 years off the back of all of that, it's just great. It's great timing, and it's perfect. Jack's, well done, mate.
And so Toddy saying nothing is saying something, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? He never said, oh, no, we're not after him. Like, he's just stayed silent. But they've signed Gorney as well. Gorney will play till he's 36, I think.
He's a superstar, Gorney. And I hope Modern Medicine keeps him going at the rate he's going.
He's contracted next year as well. And I thought it was a pretty good ploy by Melbourne with all the track stuff going on. Track still hasn't come out publicly and said, I don't want to leave or I want to stay at D or anything like that. So they've just signed the next 2 best, extended them, not signed them, extended them because they're already contracted. So just for some positive air around until when you talk about Melbourne Football Club, because everyone's talking about Nibbler leaving and all the issues with track. I thought it was pretty smart and very deliberate, I believe, by the list management.
Yeah, very deliberate and very important to lock those guys in because it can get a bit out of hand if Viney was to leave. Yeah. You're starting to go, wow, we've lost the core group of leaders. And it's not a good look for the members.
Nah, the supporters, the members, and players are potentially going to come to the club. They're probably making their decision right now, and if Viney's up in the air, Track's up in the air, they're going, I'm not going to that footy club. 2 of their best players and leaders are potentially going to go. So it was good that they're locked in, those boys.
Clarko did mention a few more names. He said Ollie Wines, Luke Parker, Dane Rampy, and Callan Ward.
There you go.
Callan Ward.
He's
still cashing in.
Wardie's so good. Like he is still cashing in. And if you watch him play, he's that good.
They're nearly all the same player. Like,
Luke Parker would be a great pickup because he's at the
contract, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's had a tough year trying to get back into that.
He's playing real good footy at the moment, and he's so good for that.
But he'd be pissed off, I reckon. Him and his management would be going, are you kidding?
He's a Melbourne boy too, so
he's a Dandenong Stingray, wasn't he, growing up?
Stingers, I played with him.
I reckon Dion Prestia told me he was the best player in their draft when I was bottom age at Calder Cannons. Yeah. And I think he went 2nd round. He was a real late, big 30. I think it might have been 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
But there you go. So Clarko's come out and said that and you were a bit shocked. Do you reckon is that unique of coaches to do that?
I haven't heard a coach name a player during the year.
I reckon it's changing our game. It's good.
NFL model.
Yeah, well, even like Neil Bullen leaving like a couple of weeks early. I like it.
Yeah, he actually doesn't nominate the club. I'm sure he will at some point, but yeah, I thought, I didn't know that. I didn't listen to Clarko. I like it, to be honest. It's been refreshing to someone being honest.
One other thing we've got here on the run sheet just popped up today, but Danny Rioli to the Gold Coast Suns for pick 5. What would you do if you were Richmond?
Oh, you'd take pick 5. If he wants to go, does he want to go?
You'd imagine so if he's going there. Dimmer's there.
Pretty keen on going.
He said he's out.
I think you take pick 5. I think pick 5's reasonable. Like he's definitely.
But if Baker, Graham, Dustin Martin, Grimes is retired. Congratulations, mate. What a career.
Yeah.
Then you got these guys all leaving. It's a big chunk to just go. You can't have too many young kids.
Yeah,
they've already had their worst losing season of all time or something, I think I read.
You've still got some good leaders like Vlosten. I'm sorry, I've gone blank, but there's a few more.
Brody, Tommy Lynch.
Vlosten. Yeah, Tommy Lynch to stick around. But also it'd be probably big good for Ooze to have a fresh start, those premiership players and all that, not that you want to clear them out, but this is my team now, not be like jaded by what's been done in the past and just create your own thing with your own team, get a heap of young talent in and nearly just do a mini rebuild or a big rebuild, which is what they need. So maybe it'll be good for the footy club to leave that in the rearview mirror and look forward.
Yeah, I like it. They got a bit there though. Like when they're all healthy.
Yeah. Who's that kid that took the hanger on the weekend on Sis?
Was it Ralph Smith? Was it Ralphie?
Man, I don't know. It was a ripping hanger, a young bloke.
All right, mate. Well, that's probably all I've got from last week. There's a lot. We're going to talk about a lot. And as we know, we're breaking these up. We're going to review, but play on or out of bounds. I've got a really strange one. Went and had a little, had a gym workout, met a few mates, went for a steam sauna, and I saw a person in the sauna with their runners on. Play on or out of bounds. Just rolling in the sauna post-gym in your runners.
It's a weird one. Runners, all sweaty, they'd stink.
Just rolled in.
Wet.
Sat down.
Usually people wear thongs and slip, what are they called? The little slip-ons?
Slip and slides.
But I go barefoot. I'm not worried about all this. I'm about to jump in the shower afterwards.
Anyway.
So runners is out of bounds. Sorry, out of bounds.
Have you ever seen anything like it? Well, I was going to think about putting it in another category of our show, but have you ever seen anyone in runners or even thongs? You rarely see people in the sauna.
I don't even like wearing my and socks. Tell me then.
Socks, and it was like they walked straight from the gym.
That's not.
That's
out of bounds, man. That's no good.
I reckon they were thinking, well, I'm going to be taking it all off anyway. But it was the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Nah, that's not good.
Well, it's not the strangest. I've seen stranger, but yeah.
I've seen stranger in this room. Looking at him.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the tipping competition, mate. It's getting tight, and
5 again,
mate. I need the head honcho of our tipping competition to get in contact with us. I don't reckon they're listening to the show.
They must,
because they're on top of the leaderboard, and they're not. We've only got 1 week to go. We're not going into finals. This competition might go, but this competition ends the end of this week, and we have Janeski 13 on 136, up by 2. It's yours to lose. Kane Plaz 7, Bailey Watkins gone without a trace, and ESPN fan 5189 305 120 all on 134. So it is going to be close. I think Gone Without a Trace has been on top of the leaderboard all year. We have the signed Melbourne jersey there from the team that you organised. We've got a few jerseys, but I wonder who Janeski 13 goes for. Kane Plaz 7, if he got 7 last week. If you can produce again, you might be able to storm home and win our Ausmerican Aces tipping competition. But thank you to everyone that has jumped in. We've got about 700 people in here, and if you can take this out, it'd be outstanding. So looking forward to seeing who wins. It's going to be awesome. We'll chuck some Rixxies in there as well. Pig, how many did you tip last week, mate?
5.
Nice. You've been hot to end the year, which is...
I've been good. Because you know why? I've been going against what I think.
Yeah, nice.
It's not even joking. Whatever I think, I go the opposite, and it's been winning for me. That's where I'm at.
That is great. Well, yeah, I got 4 last week. Just no good. I think I tipped all the roughies trying to catch up because I'm behind. Mate, let's get into a couple of our favourite segments, and it's time for your favourite. That's Puke.
So, I've been trying to get back into the running a bit lately.
Oh, have you? A couple of calories, big fella.
And
1,500.
Nah, do you know, I realise it's pretty hard.
Now you realise. What are we, 3 weeks after I
went for a run and then went to the gym, and I reckon I clocked maybe 700, and I was like, I'm stuffed that. I'm not going any further.
The punishments are starting again this week. And the calories are right up there.
Next week, if that's the case. No, anyway, and I'm going for a run. I went to the Central Park there in Melbourne and I had to do a slash, like mid-run. Gone in the public toilet, and I swear to God, this is Puke. People just piss on the floor in those things. Have you been to one of those public toilets like near the Tan or at a park like that? They literally, you walk in there, it's a nice area, Melbourne, jeez. And there's just piss all over the joint. It's like someone's just whopping it out and just going on the walls and the floor. I'm trying to sit there and hover my feet, not stand in piss because, I don't want to be like the bloke in the sauna with wet feet. But, I was like, this is Puke. And I don't know if it's up to the council or people just not to piss on the walls and all that, but I thought I'd let you know that is Puke.
I went to a pub. I won't name the pub. Doesn't deserve to be named.
Pubs are the same?
Yeah, because I've only been to this pub a couple of times, and this might be a one-off, so I won't name them. But I went to when I was watching the UFC, went to the Dunny a couple of times to take a piss, and it was like a couple mil just of liquid on the ground. I'm thinking, what is doing here? Who's cleaning these things?
Surely a pub's is someone sweeps it up every hour. No, not sweeps it up, but it gives it a bit of a polish.
What about Puke? What about if you had to do number 2? Like, and you're going,
you're hovering.
And the Dunny paper's that one fly job.
Yeah. And you don't want to pull your pants down too far because you might get piss on the back of your jeans.
Yeah, so you're going to do the reverse Kanga, you reckon? That's huge. Oh, I'll tell you what my future was. It's nothing to do with toilets. It is the great man, Dyson Heppel, last week. I cannot believe. I know he's going to be playing this week against Brisbane, so don't be coming at me like Train. They're giving him a going away party and whatnot, last game. But in front of the home fans, a game that I thought was winnable. You could see the effort was there. They lacked a bit of polish, the Dons inside forward half. I thought they could get it done. They looked elite, and they will be fine going forward. They've got to add a few pieces in their team that can use the ball, I believe. But how Dyson Heppel doesn't get a game, the last home game, when the season, I think, is done. Like, I don't think they could have made it, really, unless they won the last two, but they got Brizzy on the road. How he doesn't get a game is beyond me. And they named a couple of players that haven't played for a while, and there's a few players that he could easily replace if you watch that game. Not going to name them. But for a legend of that club, when I say legend, like, he's been through a lot. He's been through a lot. And
he's been a good servant for that footy, good leader.
A great person. Everyone's harped on about it. He's a great guy. I just thought that was huge. And it really annoyed me.
Yeah, it annoyed me too, because I know how good he just stayed loyal to that footy club when, he didn't have to. And I was disappointed because he's such a good bloke and such a good clubman. I didn't like it either. But I mean, he's not getting a game. They mustn't think he's in the best 22 or 23.
But But
I think
they dish up a 50-point. They got smacked in the second half.
Obviously, they didn't know they were going to get smacked. But
this is the thing. They might have found a leg playing for him.
I think it could
I remember playing against Joe Watson's last game when I was playing for Freo, and they just found something at the Dons.
You find an extra 5%.
Exactly, because they're playing for something even more. Obviously, there's trying to play finals, but you know what it's like. You even said it. You're hanging on for the 8th spot. You probably know you're going to get knocked out first round. There's more to be. It really got me going, and it was almost to stop that. But I just think, read the play. Like, members and fans, you would have packed the stadium. You would have had more people in the building just to say goodbye. I know he clapped. Everyone gave him a clap, and he gave the love heart, and he's a great man. And I wanted to make sure that we were right in case he might have been injured, or I know he might have said play a young kid, but they're playing him this week. Just should have played him last week.
Well, that's the grouse. Him playing this week.
It is the grouse. It is.
That is grouse. But so you had another grouse, did you not? I saw it on the run sheet. What is it?
It is big for the pod, for our NFL pod, for Ausmerican Aces. We are finally on the Sportsbet feed.
That is the grouse.
That is the grouse. So
people can follow our bets and lose all their money.
Lose all your money or win all your money. The thing with this is, when you're trying to give a tip out on a Wednesday when we're recording, and then a Thursday we're rushing, and then we're trying to put up graphics. Now we're going to sit together every week for the finals and the last round of the season. All our NFL bets as well with Sips, me and Sip on the NFL podcast, but mainly he's, and have these challenges, and we can write them together. But you don't have to wait around for us to put something up. It's going to be on the Sportsbet feed.
Awesome.
So
I'm excited for that.
It is.
At least now, I was going to do it on a Friday or a Saturday or whatever, and look at who's in, sit down, read the old form guide. It'll be like me reading the form guide.
Yeah.
I'll just sit there and I'll pick who I think.
Over a coffee in the morning, text it through, I'll whack it up. So head to Sportsbet. Make sure you hit the link in our bio, actually. I'm going to chuck it in there as well. But follow the Ausmerican Aces account. And just wait for the pig's best, the train's best. We'll put one on together.
I'll give a couple this week.
We're going to do 2 each, and we might even do a same game multi on our teams because the D's are going really well, and Freo need to win, and so do the Giants. But it's exciting because remember we said if one loses and the other one wins, there's punishments, and the punishments are back. So with a little bye weekend to follow, we'll have a little bit of a chat about what we do there. So head to Sportsbet and get around that. That is the grouse. Righto, it's time for our RIXX eye-catching moment. Put the hat backwards for this segment, I reckon. Just see that little, if they don't hock to her, I don't want to talk to her. He's in that. I just thought about it then. Anthony Edwards is rocking that tee. Outstanding. Like we said, RIXX has just dropped their brand new colour. First colour of the year. It's the steel, the Jackie Steels. They're a blue, crystallised blue, that is, and they come in Melrose, Soho, and Boston. I'm wearing the Melrose. I think Pig's got the black ones on. He left his at home. Righto, Pig. So time for our RIXX Eye Catcher. We're going to join, we're going to combine this week because it was pretty big stuff and it was a part of a lot of people's life that love AFL. What is it? Let everyone know.
30 years of the AFL Footy Show. Thursday night Footy Show, the best one in my opinion. I grew up watching it. I loved it. Used to wait up all night to see the team's name. Now it's obviously on your phone and all that, but some of the big moments I thought would maybe highlight a couple and talk about it. But I'm just firstly, how good was the show?
Oh,
Croft,
so good.
Billy.
Sammy. Trev.
Oh, Trevor Marmalade.
Just in the corner drinking a few beers.
How funny.
How good's the combination? Obviously, Eddie Maguire, the mastermind behind it. It's fascinating stuff. And, I didn't realise there was a bit of a divide when Seven opened the... I didn't know that. I must have been too young.
What was that when Seven...
Dunstall and I think, was it Hawkins? I can't remember who else was, but a few of them left. And big Billy Brownless and that said, no, not happening here. And they stayed loyal. But, that was a little bit of a they played that last night on TV. But that wasn't the highlight. What was your favourite memory of the Footy Show?
Mine was when Croft dacked Sammy, because I think it was live, and they didn't have time to put the little emoji in front of it, so you could see for a glimpse there, you could see the old fella. That was a big one, but I love some of the segments, like Almost Footy Legends. Was always all the hangers, big bumps, or people just absolutely ruining it, which we see all the time now with Instagram and people posting missing from the goal square and that. But before that, we had Almost Footy Legends. People would send that stuff in. I loved it. What else? What else did you like?
I think Street Talk was always fun.
Street Talk was hilarious.
Can you think about the concept of that? Someone going, imagine Sammy Newman. I don't know the great man, but imagine someone goes, Sammy, I reckon it'd be a good idea if you get a mic and you walk down the street and just go up to a few loonies and ask them about the footy. And he'd be thinking, no way am I doing that. And then it turns into the greatest segment of all time.
It was so funny. I remember because I grew up Somerville, Frankston, and he went down to Frankston. If you went anywhere near the train station in Frankston, you're finding all sorts of characters. And you knew if he was whoever he's interviewing, they were a little bit rough around the edges and it was comedy gold what he was doing. So that was
unfiltered. Back in the day, they used to put some stuff that we enjoy listening to and watching. We're a bit hesitant these days. A lot of rules and regulations you can't really do. I mean, it's a tough time to be a comedian, isn't it? Yeah. But they had a bit of a license to do what they want.
Yeah, 100%. There's a few other things.
I like when Billy Brownless is in Europe and he's running through naked. He's doing the nudie run and he's running through the big fella. He's out of shape and he snags running around. And I just think you could not. If he did that tomorrow, he'd be in so much trouble. Yet, we're watching the replay of this back in the day and we're loving it. I just think, that was good. And hearing him talk about when he used to be on, he'd go to the local club and. They'd do the wheel and he'd just be waiting around for the live cross.
Billy used to do it, didn't they?
I think it was just Billy on his own. And they just used to, and they do a live cross late. And Billy had no choice but just to drink frothies because they crossed to him late. And he's going, hurry up. And then all of a sudden, he's with all the locals, every town, the whole town's there.
He went to.
Just a cool show.
Yeah, Billy went to Tyab Footy Club, which was just down from where I grew up, and apparently he was poleaxed.
He used to just
everyone was like, it was the best night ever. Billy was having a laugh and just getting pissed with everyone. So, yeah, good show. Good, it was a good segment.
Yeah, I thought that caught our eye. And if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's outstanding work. I think Jam TV put that together, but it's got all the everyone that was on it interviewed, and they play the highlights and you forget how big the show was. One more, but did you ever do the dance, the review?
Nah, I didn't. I got asked to do it twice. I
did it once.
Yeah, you would be able to do it.
Yeah, mate, it's like the dream come true.
You $1,000 or something.
I can't remember, but it was just more about getting involved. It was a good day and a good night. It was a lot of practice. Our dance was, talk about puke. If you got that up and watched what we did, it was horrific. But it was just good to get that one. I remember speaking of Brownie, Campbell Brown, he used to be.
He was always front and centre.
He was always front and centre. It's like he used to love it. Oh, I loved it, mate. Anyway, head to RIXXeyewear.com.au, grab yourself some RIXXies. We've got the Steels online right now. I'm wearing them. And, you get in first because they're limited numbers. We've got the Melrose, the Soho, and the Boston. It's time to go through all the games this week, break it down, and let's give our predictions and maybe take our time because we're going to dedicate this podcast preview pretty much to our predictions and game previews.
Well, Friday night will be my first multi. It's my old team. It's Friday night, obviously, so I'll be putting that in the Aces batch of bets. And rumour has it whoever wins this game gets first booth at the Osborne on Saturday night. So if you lose, you're going to the Tramp or the Revs. Anyway. I've got Melbourne winning straight off the bat.
Who are they playing, mate? Give everyone a little
Pies.
another
I'll
Pies.
tell you, it's Melbourne versus the Pies on
12th
Friday
10th. The Pies $1.66. They've got these
night.
$2.23.
Melbourne winning. Good signs last week, but obviously dead rubber. Pies can't make the finals. I tell you one thing though, I think everyone's going to want to just finish strong. Dacos will have over 35.
You're going to tag?
I don't think so. They haven't tagged much. Like Viney has like a run with sometimes, but
what's the point of tagging this week?
No, I think that
unless they're young.
But you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if Goody's like, I don't want this bloke getting 3 votes.
What would Goody do? Like, without giving, you don't know, you haven't spoken. But what do you expect him to do?
I just think he'll just say, just go out there and show us like.
The last week they were great.
Yeah, so it's bring your best game. What is that? Is it Van Ruin? Fucking just go for your marks. You know what I mean? Vines, Clary, just track the ball. Just fucking go hard. Just you got one more game for the rest of the year. Give it your best. But what is the best you? Like, what are your strengths? Bring out your strengths. So if it's that Colton Coulthorpe run, we want you to get the ball. We want you to kick some goals. Show us your flair.
Pick it.
Caleb Windsor, if you get the ball, I want you running down the wing, bouncing it. If you get the opportunity, I think it'll be a good game for next year and for the off season to actually go. Hold on, we're all right. Like, and both teams can be like that. So I think show your flair, show us your strengths, and what are they? But I've got the D's winning.
Do you really?
Yeah. Well. Not a lot of confidence in both teams, to be honest.
Well, the Pies just beat Brisbane.
Yeah, but this flogged Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Gold Coast.
Yeah, I know. Brisbane haven't been going that well, though.
They won 8 of the last 10.
Have they?
Yeah.
When were the last 2? They lost one.
They lost to the Giants and the Pies.
Yeah, they're shit. What are they?
We should have a little go here. I reckon Pies win.
Oh, well,
I think because Maisie's not playing.
Yeah, Maisie's out. I'm just there are my tips because I need to make up some. I'm about 8 behind, so I need to get 15 tips this week.
Have you heard Collingwood's outs before you bet?
Oh, hang on. There's a Collingwood. The Collingwood's got a few outs.
Breaking news.
So McStay's not playing because he's pulled up sore, and Pendle's been playing with 2 broken ribs since the Carlton game, and now that they can't make it, will he play? I doubt it.
No, he won't. Maybe you're right. I apologise in advance.
So there you go. So I've got
maybe D's 1 to 24.
I would be very surprised if there's tagging and there's all like, you know what I mean? I just think both teams, it could be a shootout.
Nick Dacos last week, his first quarter was huge and his second quarter was the best I've ever seen. So
14 and 2 goals.
Yeah, so I reckon he could have 40.
And he's a chance at the Brownlow. So the Pies will be feeding him. Like
I just wonder if Melbourne go, we're just not going to let him get 3 votes today.
And I reckon that is a big
And if
chance.
that's the case, it has to be, who's the guy that's been tagging? He tagged Lockie Neal. You should be able to help me out. Rivers.
Yeah, did he tag?
But he has done a few run with rolls. I don't know if he's got the toe to go with Dacos.
Last game of the year. Nothing for it. River want to get as many touches. Give us the best bet in that
game, just before we put
Dacos to get 35.
And D's to win, you reckon?
D's to win.
Okay. I like it. McStay out concerns me. Yeah, it'd be good. Hopefully it's a high-scoring game. You think that, right? I'm gonna wait for the teams before I give my tip. You've wigged me out, Brodo, telling me all the guns are out.
All right, well, Saturday Arvo, we've got down at the Cattery, the Cats versus West Coast.
What a game. And by the way, I was looking at the ladder the other day, and I'm like, can anyone? The top 4 is pretty much set if Geelong win. Just a matter of where they finish. Brisbane would be so flat losing last week because they can't go top 4, considering Geelong is playing West Coast at the Cattery. Like, they'd be so flat. That's the schedule for them.
Yeah, it's any West Coast or Gaff, he'd be done. Who else is retiring?
Gaff plays one more. Yeah, Gaff's last game. I don't know. I'm not good with the retirees. But how many points will the Geelong Football Club win by? Because they just got 80. Beat by the Saints. And they will be going, boys, we need to get going here. Top 4. We want to play the way we want to, we want to play well.
80 points.
80?
I don't know what the over-under is, but I'd be going 80 points.
Do you think they rest a few players late? Like, do you think Jezza gets subbed off if they're up by 70?
They need to lock in top 4. Oh, late you're saying.
Yeah, like
but
you're up by 55, last quarter, they take the... So that's one to monitor.
Probably, because if they win, they can't go over 4.
I have a feeling about...
they won't rest players.
I have a feeling Closey's going to kick 3. He's juicy.
Jezza could kick 7.
Yeah, their key backs are all right. I reckon it's just someone on the high half forward that just keeps getting behind them all and kicks a few in a goal square. So, Brad Close, look out.
We're going Geelong then. What do you reckon about this one? Richmond, the Suns at the G, last game.
Damien Hardwick Cup.
I'm saying Richmond are a sneaky chance. They got a few guys. Grimes is retiring. They got a few guys they thinking they're going to leave the club. I don't know. I just reckon they pull the rabbit out of the hat.
I reckon at $1.55, the Suns have got to be the best. It's got to be the best bet of the week because Damien Hardwick's good. There's this thing that I've always watched, which is coaches. When they play their old team, they always beat them. I feel like they always get them.
Play. They know the strengths of the players individually.
So I wonder if Daniel Rioli does get tagged and run with like a Nick Holman.
Not, mate. If the Suns want him, I wouldn't be tagging him. If I want a player from another club and I'm at that club,
you got to drive his value down.
Nah, but you don't want him to be angry with you. You're bitter. I'm not going to that Nugget club that has tagged me.
Yeah, true.
I'll be pissed.
So maybe Rioli for 30.
I'm gonna tip Richmond. I think Gold Coast win, but in my tips, I'm gonna tip Richmond.
Yeah, because you're behind. But don't do that. Just tell everyone what you think's gonna happen.
Well, I think. Lukosha's come back. He's about 6 in the VFL.
Yeah, well, he should, and he'll come back and he'll probably kick 4.
Yeah, so if he plays, I reckon he'll kick.
I like the Suns a lot. I think Richmond the wheels are rolling off. They've got Mad Monday plans.
Than you think.
They've all got Mad Monday plans, but I think Suns are wanting on the road wins because they've had none all year.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, there you go. So we're both tipping the Suns. I think it's going to be close.
One of the best bets of the week. If we had the 12-week challenge, I'd finish the year on the Suns.
Hawks versus North in Launceston.
I had a guy that I know very well say he can't believe the Hawks are $1.06, and I said they should be $1.02.
I don't know, man.
It's a grand final for the Hawks. They have to win to stay alive, and North's just been pants.
Teams crumble under these kind of
Not in
situations.
Tassie. Hawthorn love it. I know North like it.
So did North.
There's no way known North are winning this game.
Well, I think this will be closer than you realize. I think Hawthorn will win, but I think this will be close.
Hawthorn is so good, man.
Whatever the line is for this, I think you get on North.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Is Shields playing?
Yeah, he's playing.
He's playing his last game?
He's playing his last game.
That's pretty special to play against your old side.
That's what I was going to say too. I forgot to write it down, but playing against your old mob last game.
Maybe they find a bit for him, the North boys. They all love him. Apparently he's one of the great men.
Yeah. I haven't had too much to do with him, but I've heard the same thing.
Yeah. Look, it's funny that you say that. I just think with what Hawthorn's doing, there's no way knowing that they're going to give up that. And they can, if the Dogs lose, they'll go to 6. They'll get a home elimination final.
That's pretty cool, man.
It is. And then a home, to be honest, if they lose either way, they're probably playing a Melbourne side in, depends on Fremantle. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. They have to win, and they'll get a home. They should get a home final if the Dogs lose. Otherwise, they'll probably play the Dogs, which is at home anyway. So, mate, it's going to be interesting stuff. There's no way known. Anyway, let's talk about what's going to happen. The players to watch in that game, North Melbourne, I think like a Zach Fisher, he's been playing, he's kicking in. So if the Hawks are going to pepper them, I reckon Zach Fisher most disposals and Hawks 40+, the algorithm will pop that through the roof. That's not a bad combination.
Who's that? Is it Connor Nash that tags? He runs with sometimes. Well, that McKercher, I'm a big rap fan. Is he going to win the Rising Star?
No, the Rising Star is locked to go to Dempsey from Geelong.
Yeah, Geelong. Oh, is it Geelong, is it?
What about Sam? Hey, we forgot to talk about Sam Darcy earlier.
Isn't he flying?
Oh, he's kicked more goals than his old man's ever kicked.
What?
His old man only kicked 6 in his career.
Really?
Imagine the head wobble going. You know how Luke Darcy's got a fair bit to say. He's the man. He's on. He does a lot of media, and he's very poised when it comes to his son. But now that his son's kicked more goals than him in a game at whatever is he 2021.
You're walking into dinner.
Yeah, you're walking into dinner going, "How are you, big fella?"
Yeah, how are you, son? He's talking to his old man.
What do you got for dinner, son?
Whip up me dinner, boy.
Oh, that's good.
All right, let's rip through a couple. Brisbane.
Just on that, I think Marbio Chol will have a day out.
Oh, yeah, nice.
They lost a couple of key backs North to finish the season. Aiden Core will go to him, and just a couple of handovers. I think he might be able to cut loose.
Brisbane versus Essendon. Brisbane want to try and get top 4, obviously.
580 Essendon.
That's yeah.
The line's $1.14. I mean, it's better than bank interest.
Joey could kick 6. He's he played well last week, kicked 4. That's my tip. Lockie Neal to rack him up. Essendon haven't seen them tag in recent times.
Caldwell could play a role.
They'll be feeding Neal. Joey's going to kick 4.
I don't
Neal's
know.
going to have
like
30.
These guns won't really. They're probably trying to get the game on their terms, and then they're probably taking it easy. Although Neely wants the Brownlow.
Won the Brownlow again 3 times. Only been 1.
What about Zachy Merritt? He might want the Brownlow. There's a lot of blokes that and toss their name around.
I'd love nothing more than Zachy Merritt to win the Brownlow. I don't think he's even near it.
What's the bet in that one for you?
I've got Joey to kick 3+ and Neal to have 30 and Brisbane to win.
I reckon Charlie Cameron is due, and I reckon I might take him for a bag.
Okay, it's hard to... Yeah, I like it. All right, Sydney versus Adelaide at Sydney. Sydney are locked in top. I'm pretty sure their percentage is too strong. So I think they're going to rest some players. Maybe Grundy. Hayward's been a bit sore. They can't rest them all because you don't want to mess with...
well, they lose by too many points and the other teams can get going.
I think it's a lot of points.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't think that's going to happen. Mate, I look at this could be the value play of the week. Now, Adelaide 329. Rankin's out. Rankin's out, though. Rankin's
one player.
He's big. When he's out, they don't play as well.
Okay.
But I still think they can get it. Like Adelaide, Sydney aren't going as well as we think.
No, they're not.
Got to remember they played Essendon last week. Before that, they've been struggling.
Yeah, so I reckon 330.
The line. It'd be interesting to see the line in that, but mate, for our listeners, I'm definitely going to tip Adelaide. I think Adelaide wants to finish the season off, and like you said, Sydney don't really have much to play for. This is funny. I've been there for. The coaches are saying play like this is your life depends on it because it's the way the way you prepare is the way you play, and this will carry in your form into finals. But you can't tell me if your leaders aren't going to just take it easy, knowing that there's nothing to gain out of this game.
You won't be running back with the flight of the ball and exposing ribs and things like that. So you definitely won't be trying to bump anyone, that's for sure, missing weeks of finals. So I still think Sydney win. I think $3.30 for Adelaide. They could steal it and get a team that's just going to coast through to knowing they're going to be in the top of the ladder. So I'm doing a tip Sydney, but not with a lot of confidence. You're tipping Sydney, Adelaide?
I'm going to go for value and take Adelaide.
All right. This game is probably the game of the round. It's the Dogs versus GWS. And of all places, they've put probably the game of the round where there's a bid on the line. Top 4 spots for both of them available. And they've thrown it down at Mars Stadium, Ballarat. Now that is huge.
What is going through the Doggies' heads? I mean, they are obviously a line down there. And we love everyone from Ballarat, but they are unstoppable at Marvel Stadium. And now they've got to go down to Ballarat and play the hottest team in the competition. There's a rivalry here. I don't think it's as hot as it used to be, but there's a rivalry here, and this is huge. Do the Dogs need a win? Yes, they do. Can they be top 4? No, they can't.
If Geelong lose. If
Geelong aren't losing, so they can't.
Well, they can, technically.
Well, Brisbane and them have to lose because but Bulldogs will want a home game. They want to play at Marvel because that's how good they are at home. And if they lose this game, they can
slide out.
They can slide out. If they lose this game, they could miss. No one has spoken about.
No, they can't. No.
Yes, they can.
No,
Fremantle goes to 54. Hawthorn goes to 56. Carlton goes to 56. Therefore, they drop out. Everyone goes up.
GWS.
Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah.
Western Bulldogs slide out of the 8.
Gotcha.
That is massive.
Yeah.
Playing the Giants, who are looking for a home final. If they lose and Port win, then they don't get to play at home, although they might play Sydney. There's a lot to play for in this game. A lot.
I don't think they can fall out. I'm looking at it now.
Freo
would have to...
Freo wins, they go to 54. Carlton wins, it goes to 56. Hawthorn goes to 56. Bulldogs are sitting on 52.
Yep, I'm tripping. But that is exactly how it's going to play out, and that is awesome.
I haven't heard anyone talk about how Bulldogs are do or die this week. Have to win.
Have to win
against the Giants. What do you think is going to happen?
I think GWS is going to win. I think Dogs are going out.
wonder if Giants really care because they get to play Sydney if they go to 4.
Freo are playing Port, man. Like, I don't think they can.
I think Freo will win without Houston.
You love one of their best players out and you just rule the team out straight
Mate, Port haven't gone that well, are they? Over in Perth?
That's a good game. Anyway, it's Putes down there. It's in Ballarat. I'll be watching it with a lot of interest. It's 12:30.
One thing I'll say is the Giants' key defenders are a nightmare. And if you think they're going to win it with the tools this week, they're not. They're going to have to win it on ball. And if you think about the midfielders that Giants have now got, like Kelly, Caniglio, Tom Green, Callahan, like they're all back. They're all firing. This
Hogan, kicking 6. Sewed up the North. Oh, sorry. No, what is it?
Coleman. Oh, yeah, dude. How many beers? He's on the juice cleanse.
I haven't had a beer. I probably need one.
You probably are. Crack some beers next time we're on here.
Beer before the pod.
Just on that, I think the Giants win the flag this year.
I reckon they're a big chance too. I think if Port, I said Port the other week, and I'm like, if they can win comfortably this week and have some momentum, I think they could win it.
Mate, let me just sell this for you quickly.
I don't care about Houston. Is that
okay, but let me just sell this. Sam Taylor, Jack Buckley, Himmelberg, Whitfield, Arden, Lockie, that whole back line is stacked. Then you move up to the midfield, stacked. Forward line, Coleman. You got the All-Australian captain from last year, Toby Green. You got Brent Daniels will be All-Australian probably. You got these small young forwards, the kid with the lid everyone loves. You got that much pressure up there. You've got another tall in Cadman who's a number 1 pick. Put it all together. I reckon they've been putting it together for the last 10 weeks. That is the most obvious team heading into finals for me that they are the firm favourite.
Dogs are firm favourites against them this weekend.
Yeah, well, it's bizarre that.
Carlton versus the Saints. Carlton need a win. Saints were good last week against Geelong.
Pretty funny, Rossi last week. Did you see Rossi?
Oh, what did he do?
He goes, we played a bit of Riz. The boys played with Riz. I reckon he would have caught that off. He would have had no idea what he's talking about. And he goes, well, they go, what'd you do? Because obviously they dominated the last week. He goes, the boys played with a bit of Riz. A bit of Riz.
What a legend.
I go, that's actually some of his best.
They played with a bit of Riz. They did, and they were good.
Talk about a bit of Riz.
I think they could just ruin the whole thing.
They would love to ruin it.
It's $1.72, $2.13.
It's not a team you want to play if you're Carlton.
Nah, not
because he's tactically so good. He knows what's going on. Without their big keys,
I think, yeah.
You know what the best bet with this one would be? I reckon the unders. I reckon they'll do everything. Yeah, they'll do everything to just take away their threats, lock it down, win every stoppage, every opportunity. It'll just be. I think it'll be a really ugly, low-scoring game.
Yeah,
ugly.
I tend to agree with you. And so, Carlton are just don't know what you're going to get. We thought they were going to lose, or you thought they were going to lose last week, and they turned up against. But it was West Coast. Saints are in form. I'm going to just tip Carlton because, as you said, there's so much on the line. But not with a lot of confidence. Cripps, I'm going with all the guys that are up with the Brownlow. I think he just puts him on his shoulders again, like he did on the weekend. And he gets he's I think he's is he red hot favourite, Cripps?
I think he is. Him and Dacos, and at the moment you think just on that, did St Kilda tag? They have a tag. He hasn't been playing though, has he?
Windhager.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what they do. But Cripps for me 30 plus because it's the captain's game. You wonder if Jack Steele gets the assignment. And says, you go head-to-head with him.
Maybe.
Show us what you're made of, Skip.
Yeah.
2 skippers, head-to-head.
Look forward to watching it. Carlton for me?
Yeah, I think I'd like to see Carlton play finals. It helps Melbourne go wild. But I need them to lose for Fremantle. Is that correct?
Yeah, you do.
So I'll tip St Kilda.
And that's the thing. Carlton will be playing. Freo will be warming up and watching the footy, hoping Carlton lose, then going out and having to beat Port. So with the Tigers into going the Freo Port game now, they'll be watching Carlton, hoping they lose. If they lose, they need to win to go into the finals.
So Carlton lose, right? And then they'll be all sitting around a screen cheering on Port Adelaide.
100%. It's crazy. And it's to finish the round. I'm tipping
Can you imagine
Port.
how flat you'd be that night going for a beer? And then Mad Monday's the next day, isn't it?
In 2017, my first year, Adelaide were the team. They were the best team in the comp that year. They were playing West Coast, I think, who weren't much chop at home, top of the ladder versus 12th or 13th. All they had, and we were in the 8, and all we had to do was Adelaide couldn't lose by more than 6 goals, and they were the best team in the comp. They lost by 7, and we went out by 0.1%. We're sitting at my house. Conor McGregor fight was on against Mayweather. Yeah, and I remember I was just sitting there going, "Are you serious?" Like,
So you're playing finals if they win.
if Adelaide win or if they lose by 5,
So you're pretty much at a 36-point line.
yeah, and they lost by just outside of it.
Was that because Collingwood beat you in the
I
last?
think it might have been Richmond actually.
No, and Lyndon Dunn high-tenned the bloke over the fence, the Collingwood
it might have been
fan.
that. I remember just going, "Are you serious?"
That's crazy, mate.
Yeah, 0.1%.
Well, Freo and West Coast, the drama continues because Freo needed West Coast to rock up last week, and I thought West Coast put the brakes on. They won 2 games. Everything's going well. And if there's a team that's going to piss them off, it's West Coast not even rocking up last week. So now we have this scenario where it would have been curtains for the Blues. But, hey, the schedule is elite. So what you kind of want is, for a footy fan, is you want Carlton to lose and then you want a close game at the end so that it can go either way. So the whole league is like, who has the 8th spot? That's the ideal scenario. If Carlton win, it's all the last game doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Far out.
I look forward to watching Sunday.
Freo fans will be just, it sucks, but it's exciting.
I want Carlton to lose.
Do you reckon it would have been better if it was the other way around? So it was like Fremantle go win, and then and then Blues are like, oh shit, we have to win. They can see the scores as well.
That's the only blemish on the whole scheduling for Sunday is.
See, that's why they should be able to flip it.
Start them at the same time.
Start them at the same time. Oh, nah, because TV ratings. I'd love to watch both. Anyway. Well, it's going to be good. Hit the Sportsbet feed. We're talking a little bit of dribble here, but they're all going to be condensed, and our challenge is back, and there'll be punishments. Just so you know, there's punishments. Are you fine with punishments?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And with the feed, what do you want to do? 2 each?
So if I two each for the weekend.
And then a combination. I think we do a same game multi for our teams.
Yes. Love it.
You played Essendon and D's. I played it Freo and Giants. Maybe we put it whatever. I think we do a little something juicy. Can't be too much, but no more than 8 legs.
If we really stink it up and we get no.
Well, we've got 5 weeks to give people some money.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the punishments. If we stink it up and it's like, mate, you were no good, then you get punished. But if you were around about the mark,
and the calorie challenge is pretty tough.
I don't want to do that.
I know. That's why you gave it to me. I can't wait to give it back to you.
All right, let's go.
Take the Hook Tour hat off and put it on the KPI Construction. Stop that. And we've got a couple of crackers this week. Pig, you can kick us off because you're not happy. Even though they're putting it on a platter for you when you're hungover, you're still not happy with the drivers.
Mate, my KPI Construction stopped that. And we spoke a little bit about it, but to Uber riders, not drivers, when I'm ordering my Uber Eats and it's a 10-minute drive, I expect it to be a drive, not someone on a push bike. So by the time I get my chips, they're all soggy and cold. I want a car to drop it off, keep my food warm. I'm sick of it. Every time, he's got it now. He's got my order. Half hour later, he's sitting there on a bloody mongoose driving me Uber Eats to my joint. From Chatty, I live in Carnegie, and it's on a bike. That's a job for a car. So stop that. To any of the Uber drivers or riders, get a car. Get out of your bike. This piggy wants his grub. So, stop that. It's like get in a car. I want my food fresh, You're paying premium.
You know what? You're probably not going to get it.
And I get the priority too. Every time I click
that's the biggest scam of all time.
$3.99, I always pay for it, and then I'm getting a bloke on a pushy.
The Mongoose Pro. Do you have one of them as a kid?
Yeah, everyone had a Mongoose.
They were the greatest. I'll tell you what my stop that is, and it is to all the families out there that are doing their old man dirty with the give me my money. Mate, it's that awkward. I watch it and I'm like, oh, this is cringe. It's coming up. And go on, give us a big one.
You do another one, man.
Give me my money. Mate, it's like they go around and you're like, oh no, they're going to do him dirty. And every time I see it, I cringe. I don't even laugh. I'm like, oh, it's just the trend needs to stop. So my KPI Construction, stop that is the give me my money trend. It is. Who comes up with this shit?
I don't know. Remember, like there's always a little fad that goes around. Remember like planking? And now there's give me my money.
What was that one where everyone's like, what was it when they
Neck Minute?
No, Neck Minute was one, but when all the footy clubs would get, you'd be walking and people would put like gorilla mascots on and then you'd be all dance.
Do the Harlem Shake.
Harlem Shake, that's the one. Yeah. That was,
I did one of those.
Yeah, we all did. That was elite. You're walking around normal and then they cut to the screen and everyone's just going wild.
Yeah.
Who comes up with this stuff?
I don't know. Some genius. But The give me my money one. Have you seen the ones where they do it to the kid and the kid no one laughs at the kid and the kid whacks the dad or something?
I haven't seen that one.
They're the only funny ones. So I'm with you. Stop that.
Speaking of funny ones, we probably get them up. But you sent a really good snake video in of the fake snake.
Oh, that bloke's
Is that the best one we've ever seen?
100%.
I'll have to get. If we can't find one next week, we'll play that next week and get everyone to react. But that's all we have, mate. Great show. Thank you to everyone that tunes in. We love you. We love KPI Construction. Appreciate all their support. Like I said, hit the link below in the show notes and follow Ausmerican Aces on the feed. NFL and AFL betting from our podcast, all there for the rest of the year. And it's time for me and Pig to get going again. We've had a little spell, but we're ready to go. So thank you for your support, and we'll see you next week. Cheers. This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.